Hello and welcome to Spartan Slice. I am your host Madeline, and I'm here with Aubrey to learn a little bit more about the art that goes behind making these episodes.
Hello.
Hey, so Aubrey, how do you come up with ideas for what to do for the art?
Well, basically, we just get the main holiday that's going on in the month, and then we just make art around that.
hmm Um, do, do you enjoy doing it?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah. You haven't been on any podcasts before. Do you enjoy doing the podcast bit?
Yeah, it's fun.
um, so what do you do? Do you draw art like in your free time? Is it a hobby you have?
I like doing graphic designs. I don't really do like drawing.
Hey, so tell me a little about yourself. Do you have any pets? What are you? That sounds
Um,
weird.
I
Okay.
have 3 pets, 2 cats, and 1 dog, and their names are Obi and Luke from Star Wars, and then Marley.
Oh, do you like Star Wars?
No.
No. Did your parents name them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the Star Wars films?
No, not really.
My dad really likes Star Wars. I never got into it. It was so long.
Yeah, I think they're uh, like how long? Like 3 hours, maybe.
I think that's per movie. It's long.
Wow.
And that's not including all the spin-off series.
Oh.
I know Lucas is a big fan. I can't pay attention for that long, to be honest. I can barely watch a 2-hour movie. Okay. So, before you go and we have Danielle come up, is there anything else you want us to know about yourself or what you do in the podcast making? Not podcast. What you do for the Spartan Slice?
No, not really.
Okay. Welcome back. I'm Madeline. We're continuing the interviews. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Arav Chandak.
Hey, so Arab, do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm first semester I was in theater. Now I'm in art. I'm new to middle school. I'm in 6th grade. And yeah.
Okay, so how's sixth grade going?
Pretty good. I like this school.
I didn't have a proper sixth grade. I had Zoom sixth grade. That was special. So, what do you do in podcast club?
I usually come up with ideas. I check the stats to see like what are the best topics to use going forward.
Mm-hmm. You've been in some podcasts, right? I think you were in a podcast.
Yeah, this is my second one.
What was your other podcast?
Remember we did the New Year's one?
I was in that one too. You should check it out. We have our first Madeline minute. I forgot what I called it. It's okay. Um. So, like, what's your favorite book? Do you read?
Yeah. I just read a really good book called Powerless, but my favorite book of all time has definitely got to be Michael Vey. Michael Vey is like it's kind of a superhero story. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard of either of those books. I have my own handful of books. Okay, so what's a question I should ask the next person?
You should probably ask them like what do you want to what electives do you want to take next year? Maybe.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, anything you want to say before you go?
Watch more of our podcast. That would be well appreciated.
Hey, Danielle. Hey, well, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Bye.
We got our next contestant now. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Danielle, and I'm in 6th grade.
I was waiting for the and. You paused. So tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'm in 6th grade. I took theater last year with I forgot his name, but the person on the last time, and then I took STEM.
Very specific. Person on the last time?
Yes. Yeah.
You mean last semester?
Like last
Oh yeah, I guess last year would also be right.
like last semester.
I think of last year as like 5th grade for you. It doesn't.
That was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's kind of scary. My 5th grade was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, so did you like theater?
Yeah.
Hey, as Barb suggested, what are some electives you would want to take next year?
Maybe Gateway. Art, maybe.
Mm-hmm. My brother's in Gateway. He really enjoyed it. You take art. I have a friend that managed to fail art, which is pretty hard.
How do you fail art?
He just didn't do the assignments, and he doesn't know I'm talking about him because he doesn't go to the school. Okay, he wouldn't care. So, you're a host, right? That's what you do for podcasts.
I'm not a host. I'm supposed to be the idea person, but I do appear on a lot of the podcasts.
You're right, but you've been on the podcast, the co-host, or you've been here.
Yeah.
What are some podcasts you've been on?
I've been on the Book Talk podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My brain's kind of blinking here at this moment.
More than yours podcast.
Yeah, you are. I was.
Yeah. Speaking of book talk, I'm in book club. You should come see book club. We have a reading rumble competition soon, so that'll be fun.
What's Reading Rumble?
Okay, so it started from it's Lone Star. It's Lone Star books. My reading rumble was the thing. These are all confused in my head. Okay.
They're basically all the same thing. You don't need to worry.
They're basically all the same thing. Reading rumble is either the elementary one or the middle school one. I don't remember off the top of my head. They do the same thing, but you get together and you answer questions. Last year was virtual. I don't know if it would be virtual this year. But basically, you get a bunch of other schools from the under ISD and you all answer questions, and you see who wins. The questions are based upon the books you read, which are called the Lone Star books, which might be why some called something to the Lone Star. But no, because when I was a kid, it was called Blue Bonnet Club.
Yeah, that's because that was for elementary school. It literally stated when I went to the library this year that Blue Bonnet was for elementary school. And
these are all mixed up. They do the same thing. I like the name Blue Bonnet better, though, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
elementary school wins there.
Yeah, I've read one of the Lone Star books, Hide and Seeker, I think.
I need to read that.
Yeah, but since it's the horror books don't really do well for me because
I find horror books so incredibly stupid, to be honest.
Yes, how are you supposed to scare me with just words?
I get so annoyed at the protagonist, and I know some of you are probably thinking I haven't read the right book, and you're probably correct. I don't know. I find it annoying.
Yeah, I find horror books annoying. Like in Hide and Seeker, this might be a spoiler.
Don't spoil it, just
okay,
say they made bad decisions or something.
They made stupid. They didn't use their brain.
She used the S word.
Oh no! Call my mom. Call the principal. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, call Miss Jimenez. We have a bleep feature. We can bleep you now, and now they won't know which S word you said.
Yeah. Okay, their brain doesn't process when it's supposed to process. Like there was a threat a few pages ago, but they figured it figured it out 100 pages later when they were supposed to figure it out at the moment.
They're so far behind, it's infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel like that right now. I don't know. I get annoyed with protagonists that aren't smart. Okay, so well, like I asked, what question would you like to ask the next person?
Maybe what they would what they do on the pod, what they would like to do more of on the podcast. Maybe.
Are you trying to steal my question?
No, what would they like to do more of?
She's definitely trying to steal my question. Okay.
No, I'm not. Do not listen to her lies. Her red herrings. Do not listen to her lies.
Okay. What would you like to say before you go?
Bye.
Okay. That was Danielle, y'all. Hope you enjoyed her. Now we have our next contestant. Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Amber, and this is my first year in Styles.
Okay, so you're in 6th grade?
No, I'm in 7th grade.
Oh, did you skip a grade?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
I had a friend that also skipped a grade.
So I was I came from India to here, so I basically studied 6th grade in India. So I'm in 7th grade now.
Okay, so you came to Styles in 7th grade. Okay, I don't know why I assumed you skipped. Okay, so tell me a little about yourself.
So I like to film things. I'm in a multimedia classroom, so I film like a short film and stuff. I like to record, edit, and all that stuff.
Oh, do you guys do the news, right?
Yeah.
Do you personally record the news things?
No, I was in the news for one news show, and I record the news segments.
Okay, that's cool. What news show was it?
It was like the February news show, I guess.
Okay. February's a big month. Okay, so what do you do for the podcast?
Podcast, I usually do host. Like I was like the host of the one of my segments.
Thank you, Miss Becca. Okay, what were we talking about?
We're talking about like how I did my news show, like the February news show.
Oh yeah. So how did that go?
It went pretty well, if you ask me. But I don't know. It was basically the anchor stalking the whole show, so I think it went pretty well.
Okay. You mentioned. Oh yeah, you mentioned you were a host. Everything's mixed up here. Okay. What are some episodes you've been in?
I've been in on the talk about your book club, like talk about your favorite book.
Yeah.
Like it was like the first episode we been here like on the podcast.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
How did that go for you guys?
I think it went pretty well. Mostly because we didn't know what book we wanted to talk about. Even like about 20 minutes.
That's okay. We're currently sitting at 10 minutes right now, and we still have 2 books to record. It's okay. So, you see, when you were on that thing. Words. Okay. You were on that podcast. So, like, what was your favorite book to talk about?
My favorite book was a book called Jade Dragon. It's about a girl who got like kidnapped, and she's like a pavan, which means like she's like she has like an intelligence of like one. She has an IQ of 155, so she's like a Nobel Prize award, and she gets kidnapped, and like it's a whole like mystery story. I like that.
Reminds me of Wings of Fire because it mentions dragons or Dragon Master if you're young enough to know what I'm referencing. I have a little cousin I babysit sometimes, so I have read all of those books.
Are they good?
They aren't bad, but there's 22 of them or something like that, so they can only be so good.
Are they like a sequel, or do you need to like read every book to understand the whole story or something like that?
It started out like that, and then they kind of got their own individual stories. It's not too important to read every book. It's a children's book series. So they only follow sort of a plot line. So what question would you like to ask the next person?
Maybe what language would they like to take in 8th grade?
They're already in 8th grade. That's a good question.
Okay. Maybe what?
Say in high school. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. In high school.
Okay. Okay. So anything you'd like to say before you go?
Have a good day, I guess.
Okay. The next person is gonna host. They're an art person. That you probably have a specific title for that. I forgot what the title is.
An art person describes it accurately.
Okay, so introduce yourself. Tell us a little about you.
My name's Olivia. I'm in 8th grade. I do kickboxing and I like to swim.
Oh, you do kickboxing?
Yeah. I currently have my red brown belt.
That's cool. I don't know what that means. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So, you make the art for the podcast, correct?
Yeah. I mostly work on like the thumbnails for each episode.
I gotta ask Amanda this, but how do you decide what to draw for each episode?
Usually we do it based on like what holiday is in the month, and then we like look for inspiration based on that holiday or like what's coming up in that month.
That's cool. So what podcast have you I'm talking to that. What podcast have you drawn things for?
I don't know. I can't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah. Do you enjoy drawing for these?
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's like a fun way to just like represent a month and just like a thumbnail.
So you mentioned kickboxing. How did you start doing kickboxing?
I well, my parents had this rule that like you have to do like some sort of sport or something, and so we like heard about this place that like opened up, and so I went there to like test it out, and I really liked it, so I started doing kickboxing.
That's cool. I did athletics last year. I was never good at it.
Yeah, I'm planning to try out for soccer this year.
That'd be cool. That's soonish. It's a spring sport.
Yeah, I think tryouts are beginning in March.
I have a friend that does taekwondo, but I call it ninjutsu. Have you seen Ninjago?
No, I
So it's a reference too. I'm making references to children's series this entire podcast, apparently. Well, mentioned TV series. Do you have a favorite children's TV series?
I don't really like many shows or like movies. I like books better, like Scythe
Oh, that's cool.
or like dystopian books.
What's your favorite book?
I like Scythe and Unwound.
Ooh, that was one of the books. That was my second choice for book reading once. I showed my mom my choices, and she said, "I don't care what you do, but don't choose Scythe." I was like, "What happened?"
What's wrong with the book? It's a good book.
I don't know. My mom was so against it, and out of all the book choices, it was the most child appropriate one. So
How strange.
yeah. Okay, well, that's all I have for about right now. What question should I ask the next person?
You should ask them what they like most about Podcast Club.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say before you go?
Podcast Club is fun. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, surprise, the next person's me. We're missing some people, so they'll come in later. You'll see them in a minute. They'll go probably after me in another recording. As her question was, what do I like most about Podcast Club? That's probably doing this, getting down and talking with people about topics, just messing around. Me and Lucas recorded a little bit before this where we decided on questions, and that entire thing is just us messing around. There's nothing important in there. That's part of the fun of it. I've been on a couple podcasts. I just went on every podcast. So I was on the Halloween podcast, the New Year's podcast, and there's a third, but it doesn't exist in my head apparently. So, to tell you about myself, I play 3 instruments. I play piano, violin, and trumpet. I don't enjoy piano, but I really enjoy violin and trumpet. I plan to be a marching band in high school. That'll be too much work, probably. My question for the next person is Lucas, because he's the next person. My question is, are you having trouble breathing? Okay. I'll see you in a bit, Spartans.